Ladies and gentlemen, days like this don't come around very often. We have 8 cylinders between 2 motorcycles here today, and they actually form a nice V shape between the 2 of them. We are taking a look at our giveaway Aprilia Tuono V4 factory versus what arguably might be the King Dick naked bike, the Ducati Streetfighter V4S. Are you excited about today?
I am extremely
I'm very excited.
This is going to be an awesome comparison. I've already ridden that one around, and it's like really good.
Yeah, he hasn't ridden the Tuono yet. The Tuono is also really good. As I said, it was a 10 out of 10 motorcycle. This one might be an 11 out of 10. We're gonna find out today. But you guys know the drill. This is our giveaway Aprilia Tuono V4. It's our new expert bike giveaway. You're definitely gonna wanna make sure you get your entries in on that thing. Sign up over at yammynoob.co. Join our Discord, become a better part of our community, everything we're doing here, because this bike actually came to us from our Discord server. A guy DM'd me out of the blue on Discord and he said, I live in Austin, I have a Ducati V4S, do you want to ride it for a day? I said, yeah, of course we do. Because we've been trying to get our hands on one of these bikes, but after my Multistrada review, I'm persona non grata over at Ducati, which is unfortunate. Let's learn a little bit more about the Ducati Streetfighter V4S, as we've been simping for it off camera so much. Tell me about this motorcycle.
Well, it's got a V4 in there, right? Or as some of the Ducatistas might say,
a double L twin.
And that's very important. That is an 1103 cc V4. So it's a big boy, and it is putting down 208 horsepower and 90 foot-pounds of torque, which is just like...
That's more than an R1, that's more than a ZX-10, maybe not the new one, but for a naked bike, are you kidding me?
It's so potent, and
yeah.
it revs way the hell out. I mean, top power is at 13,000 RPM.
That's way up there.
So you really got to search for it, but man, is it fun to rev it all the way out.
Yeah.
This thing weighs in, it's a little bit lighter than the Tuono at about 440 pounds, 439 wet and ready to ride.
Yep.
Which is, I mean, it feels lighter just moving it around the shop.
To give you guys context, a MT-10, which is a fast naked bike, weighs about 440 as well. It makes 160 horsepower. This makes 48 more horsepower than an MT-10. What are you guys smoking over there in Italy? It's crazy. Now, this is also the V4S,
yes.
right? So that gets the forged Marchesini wheels, the electronic suspension, the steering damper. Man, this thing's cool.
Insane levels of technological adjustment. Everything in here, the owner set everything back to stock, so we have the exact stock settings and we can go in there and tweak everything under the sun. Engine response, quick shifter response, all of this stuff we can tune to our liking. I just set it in race mode because you can go fast. But
does it have an electronically adjustable steering damper?
Does not.
Well, it's not as cool as the Fireblade then, right, guys?
Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. It's plugged in. Yep, we're all
It's got a wire. We're fine.
I mean,
yeah.
the only thing that this doesn't have, which is a little bit odd, is it doesn't have cruise control.
Pretty weird for the type of bike that it is, but since it has winglets, Ducati's like, what, are you gonna go put cruise control on the back straight of Mugello? Come on, get out of here. Yeah, so this motorcycle is what we would consider kind of the pinnacle of the hyper-naked category. Unless you start looking at the MV Agusta Siri Oro motorcycles, this is about as much power as you can buy in a naked bike. And for the Tuono, we've already made a whole video for a first ride and a review on it, so if you guys want more detailed information about the Tuono, go and check that out. But I think we just need to go ride this and start figuring out what's what.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do the Tuono specs because he just wants to go out and ride.
I need to go ride. It's like 70 degrees. Chop chop, let's go.
We interrupt this unparalleled Italian bike simp session to bring you a warning. Before you even consider getting one of these motorcycles, you must have clean testicles. Why? Because otherwise they'll roast like prairie oysters in a fur blanket over a roaring campfire. More specifically, an exhaust pipe and 2 very hot cylinders, but that's besides the point. The point is you need to shave your junk, and Manscaped has the best ball shavers on the market. You already know that though, but what you don't know is that just in time for Christmas, you can pick up the Perfect Package 4.0 with the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker, the Shears 2.0, the toners, the tonics, the deodorant, and if you click the link down below, you'll get 20% off your order and 2 free gifts, the Shed Travel Bag and their special anti-chafing boxer briefs. Do it, you unshaven gorilla person, that way you can properly enjoy these hyper-naked motorcycles.
Alrighty folks, giving it to you fresh, giving it to you quick. We are in motion here on these 2 motorcycles. I am aboard the Ducati Streetfighter V4S. And there goes Spider on the Tuono, doing some evasive maneuvers.
Always got to enjoy some torque when you can, man.
Now, speaking of torque, first thing I notice on the Streetfighter V4S versus the Tuono is the torque. But it's not extra torque like you would imagine with a bigger engine. It's actually less of an impression of torque because this thing literally is, it's lifted directly from the Panigale V4 Superbike. So it makes all the power at the top. So how do you feel on that Tuono versus the Streetfighter that you've been riding around?
Man, I will tell you, the torque on this thing is just an instant smack in the face. You're already in the power no matter where you are. Like if I shift up a couple of gears here, I've got power on tap.
Yeah.
You know? There's no drop a gear and disappear action. It's just ready to go all the time. Which I suppose if you're riding around on the street, as we are, that's kind of what you want, right?
For sure. I think the Tuono has some of the broadest spread of torque and power of any bike I've ever ridden on the street. And the Streetfighter V4S, you know, it really, I didn't think it was going to be such a rever and a screamer, but this thing ends at 14,500 RPM, which is just bananas.
Yeah, it really goes to the moon and back, which is a lot of fun.
It's hard to even get to that RPM on the street, you know?
Yeah, you really got to work for it.
I think the other big component between these 2 motorcycles, being that the RV4s, is the difference in sound. I think when you're looking at spending this much cash on a top-of-the-line naked bike, you want it to sound molto bene, as our friends over in Italy would say.
For sure, you definitely want your motorcycle to be an auditory experience. And I think both of these are. Out of the box, I think the Ducati gives you more volume. So if that's what you're hunting for, that might be the bike for you. But in terms of just quality of sound, you cannot beat this V4 here. The Tuono, it's like perfect.
Yeah, it is a truly magical, perfect sound on the Tuono. It's something about that 65-degree V. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they sprinkle on it. Oh my God, it sounds so good. But the Ducati, once you get it up in the revs, man, that's a wicked sound out of this bike too. Holy crap, that's exciting once it gets above 10, 11, 12,000 RPM.
Yeah, when it really starts screaming at you, that's a lot of fun.
Which I'll see if I can get it to scream a little bit here. Down into second gear. Jesus Christ! 208 horsepower, baby. That's a spicy little meatball.
Yeah, when you first hopped on it, you were like, I'm not sure if it's that fast. And I was like, just keep going.
It's because, like we said, the impression of torque and the feeling of power isn't readily apparent on it, you know? You gotta work for it a little bit, which, you know, you wouldn't expect to see on a bike like this. You know, you'd think Streetfighter, they tuned it for torque, but man, they literally just dropped the panty engine in it. They didn't even try to swap anything out. And that's the difference too, I think, is that Aprilia has been making the Tuono in that V4 configuration for a long time now. They've got the formula down pat, man. That thing is so dialed in. It's so nice.
It's a thrilling ride no matter where you're at in the rev range. And like, just Jesus Christ, the handling on it is phenomenal.
Yeah, which we're about to get into some tighter, twistier sections here, guys. Don't worry, we're not just going to do highway impressions of these bikes, because that is sacrilegious. Yeah. Now, speaking of cruise on that thing, we did mention it has cruise control, but one of the big differences between these two bikes that we were noticing is throttle response. I personally think the Ducati has just about a picture-perfect throttle response. It's so linear, it cracks open really nice, but we were both commenting that the Tuono is a little bit strange, right?
Yeah, there's a noticeable delay in the throttle tube. Basically, the throw of the throttle tube, the first 10 to 15% doesn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah.
And then once you get beyond that, it's like, you better hold on, man, because we're going someplace. Just because you get that instant torque, and it almost makes it, it's not herky-jerky, but it has that sort of energy where, like, once you get the throttle open to the right spot, it's like, it's gone.
Yeah, it really has that feeling where it's like, all right, you're either on throttle or off throttle, like a race bike. You know, it feels like you can't really mellow out in a maintenance throttle situation like I'm doing right now with the Ducati, where I'm just in 4th gear, cruising along, maintenance throttle, maintaining my speed. The Tuono doesn't really love doing that. It's like either go or stop. Pick one.
Basically, the way that it's set up, it's like, you just need to go faster. All you need to do, if you want all the problems on this motorcycle to go away, just go faster, man.
Just go faster. All right, I'm gonna give you guys a pro tip out there. If you want better lap times, just go faster. It's really simple.
Is that the only secret?
That's the secret. That's all. That's what the fast guys all tell me. That's what the racers all tell me. They're like, oh, you want to go fast? Just go faster. That's it. One thing I wanted to talk about too that we mentioned in the shop before we left, because it polarized Yamanoob HQ. We had me, Spite, Whitney, and Derek today filming this video, and we were split on the looks of the Streetfighter V4S. I almost had to fire 2 of my team members today because they think that the Streetfighter V4S is a god-awful, ugly motorcycle, and I will not abide that, you know?
It's not the, like, achingly gorgeous, you know, smooth line Panigale that we're used to. It's very brutish and it's got angles, but it activates monkey brain, and it's like, you're a big motorcycle, wings fast,
red, fast, stumpy, muscly motorcycle. I mean, let's be real, it kind of looks like a swollen member, you know, like, totally honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's meant to. It's $25,000 substitute for your personality. Oh man, side to side though, I really like the feel on this Tuono. Yeah, it is a little bit heavier, but as a street rider who's not trying to extract every ounce of performance out of it, I don't really care.
Oh, totally. I mean, this is the type of bike you buy when you're comfortable not extracting every ounce of performance. You want something just enjoyable, to flick around some twisties and be realistic about it, you know? And then when you get on the highway, just obliterate anything in your way. That's what these bikes are all about. But yeah, I think the looks, I mean, God, I love the way the Streetfighter V4 looks. I think it looks so angry and the headlights are so cool, but maybe we only think that because we're motorcyclists and we're used to the look, because Derek is not a motorcyclist, and he was like, yeah, the front end looks a little weird. Why is it so squished in and stumpy? But I'm like, because it's a naked bike. Don't you understand?
You just need to spend more time around motorcycles.
I'm like, it harkens back to the 2010 Streetfighter Evo. Don't you get it? It's a callback to original Ducati design language.
I mean, I love the way that they've incorporated the new Panigale ass end on that motorcycle, because it just looks so cool. And then they have the wings on it, and yeah, you don't need wings on the street, but they look cool, man.
They do look very cool. I have to agree. But what do you say we swap rides? I think I've had enough time on the V4 for this vlog. I'm gonna flip a left here and we can swap out.
Oh, twist my arm, why don't you? The way that I look at this motorcycle is it feels like a Super Duke kind of crossed with the Tuono. You get that brutality and anger of the Super Duke and the comfort quality of it with the nice, just good handling frame and suspension setup that the Tuono comes with.
Yeah, it's funny, like I gotta say, I jump on the Tuono here and I'm like, whoa, these ergonomics are way racier than the Streetfighter.
Yeah, this thing is way more comfortable for me. I really like this. It's open, it feels roomy.
The seat on the Streetfighter V4 is a real treat.
Yeah, it's nice and plush.
Oh, but the sound that this frickin' Tuono makes though, dude.
Yeah, the sound on the Tuono is better, but I like just the raw anger and volume that this thing has.
You know, it's funny, people are definitely going to want to know which one's quote-unquote faster. And man, I think in the real world, you're just splitting hairs because it's whoever's the bravest to stay on the throttle the longest. Like, they're both so fast.
Yeah, no, there's no difference between them speed-wise, honestly. The Tuono will get the jump because it's got more torque, and then the Ducati will catch it. God, that's good. That is really good.
It's almost like when you pony up $20,000, you get a really good motorcycle.
I know, right? Who'd have thought?
I think some little stuff too we can mention is electronics package. I mean, truthfully, I think the only things these bike really needs, like they have like 5 or 6 different modes. I think Tuono has 4. All you really need is like a rain mode and a sport mode. That's kind of for me all I'd really care for. It's cool that they offer like a touring mode and you can freaking adjust the steering dampener and you know, like have the little device pop out and scratch your balls for you or whatever. Like it's cool they can do all that, right? But not really necessary. What do you think?
Yeah, that's just stuff for spec sheet warriors to brag that their motorcycle has XYZ feature, you know? I really don't see the value on it, honestly. They both ride so well. The power is great.
God, the power's great on both of them, dude. Like, I mean, I jumped on from the Streetfighter back on the Tuono, and I'm like, they're both freaking awesome.
You really can't beat them. Like you said, once you start spending X amount of dollars, they just get really good.
Unless you buy a Harley. Got him! Got him!
Woo! Oh, these are fun. These are really fun.
Oh, there's such a good spread of torque on both these bikes.
Oh, I love the experience of revving out these bikes. It just feels so fun. Yeah, yesterday when I was getting on it, I was getting used to it. I was riding it back up to the shop after I picked it up from the Discord boy, and I felt like I needed a freaking cigarette.
I think there's something about 200 plus horsepower. It hits different, dude. It just hits different.
Yeah.
You know, both of these bikes have a great quality about them, and it's that you don't want to stop riding them.
Oh God, no. I was so sad when I was like, it's not my motorcycle. I have to put it in the shop.
Yeah. Both of these bikes you just want to ride all day long. Get in the pocket, have some fun. Oh man, they're so good.
I mean, we've gotten to the point now where 200 plus horsepower is all day comfortable.
Can you believe it? It's so nice. It's gonna be hard picking a winner today. I feel like it's splitting hairs.
I've got mine. I do.
I've got mine too, I think. Yeah, I say we go post up with these two bikes, amass our final thoughts, try to pick a winner, try to determine who's for what, and then ride off into the sunset because I don't want to stop riding these bikes.
That sounds good to me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we now have to have the very difficult task of coming up with which one of these two bikes is better out of the two, and I think you and I have a difference of opinion here, right?
Yeah, and I think it's fitting that we're standing behind the bike that we both like more. I like the V4, the Streetfighter.
Explain why you like it more.
The way that I look at it is it's like the best parts of the Super Duke mixed with the best parts of the Tuono. You have the aggressive, angry feeling out of this motorcycle. It's just the angles and the fuck you factor on it is next level. But it revs out really beautifully and it handles great too. And you get all the like just velvety smooth tech out of all of it. It's, I don't know, it just tickles me in all the right spots. And it's bright red, man. It's so cool.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I think for me, the reason I'm picking the Tuono between these two is just down to that engine, you know? The Tuono, for me, This 1077cc is just simply magical. It makes torque everywhere. It sounds so good. For me, it's a 10 out of 10 bike, whereas when I got on the Ducati, the low-end sound of it and kind of the grumble of the bike, it just didn't really feel like a 10 out of 10 situation for me. I'd say it's a 9.5 out of 10. It's extraordinarily good, but because it didn't have that just punch of torque and didn't feel as sporty as I'd wanted to, for me, I'd pick the Tuono over the two.
But what about when you get it to the top end?
It's fantastic. It's truly world-endingly fast. It's way faster than any naked bike has any right to be, and it's very exciting to ride.
You said when we were coming up here, when we cut the cameras, I think we might have even had it on the vlog. I was at like 75% throttle, just having some fun, and you were wide open trying to catch me, and you couldn't, right?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The Streetfighter is definitely faster than the Tuono.
This is the one you want, guys.
I don't think it is. I mean, this is a more complete package overall.
But this one's red with winglets. It's so cool.
Look at this. Took one Streetfighter V4S. He's now a converted Ducatista. That's how easy. Don't let it happen to you, kids. It could happen to anybody out there. Don't jump on a Streetfighter. This guy's out trying to get a second mortgage, trying to afford this motorcycle. He was literally asking me, how much did I think the monthly payment would be on this bike?
And we thought it was going to be like $1,000.
Nah, not like payment,
With
insurance,
everything.
like amortizing the cost of tires that you're going to roast through, all that stuff. Probably about $1,000 for 48 months, which do you really need to spend that kind of money on a motorcycle? That's ultimately up to you.
I think you should.
The conclusion we came up with is if you have $50,000, you should buy both of them because they're really, really good and so much fun to ride. Both Spite and I today did not want to jump off either bike. I think when we swapped bikes, we were both still having a ball of a time. I don't think, it wasn't like, I think obviously you had slight favoritism towards that versus this one. Mm-hmm. So that when you jumped on that one, you were really excited, but you were not having a bad time on the Tuono.
Oh, God, no. Yeah, yes, this is more comfortable. Yes, I like the sound and the feel of this. But that is still just excellent. All the way through and through, it is excellent.
Yeah.
This is just, it makes me happy in the no-no place.
Exactly. So, guys, when you're looking at spending 20 G's on a motorcycle, just pick the one you think looks pretty and you vibe with because there's really no way you can really go wrong. Remember, this is a giveaway motorcycle. Expert bike giveaway. Don't miss it. Go to yamanoob.co, get signed up, and get entered to win it. That over there was a bike provided by a member over in our Discord server. Big shout out to him. Thank you so much for letting us use the V4S today and having some fun with it. And we'll catch you in the next one. See you later. Hey! Great seeing you here. Didn't think I'd see you back at the end of another Yami Noob video. Yes, this video is actually over, but if you hit this link over here, you can keep watching Yami Noob. Leave me a comment on this one and that one if you don't mind. Let me know if you liked it or hated it, and then maybe we can make the videos better. Keep improving, right?